Sorry, they discovered what?
Al Puthoff came pretty close to saying that this weird wedge of metamaterial came from a crashed saucer, but he can't know for sure. Puthoff and his colleague Dr. Eric Davis are on the cutting edge of attempts to identify an assortment of bits and pieces that are seemingly beyond anything we can create.
It was made out of bismuth, almost pure, 1 to 4 microns, and that was the black layer. The next layer was 97.6% magnesium, 2.4% zinc, and that layering was alternating like that. So I went to an exotic metals manufacturer in New Jersey, and I said, how would you make this? He said, nobody can put bismuth and magnesium together. It will automatically come apart. This had to have been manufactured by some kind of an advanced technology.
There is no way that thing came from Roswell, right? Right? Also, Grush never told us that there was a multi-decade crash retrieval program, did he?
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Well, son of a bitch! He did say that. There's no way that biologics came from that.
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
So apparently they do go out and recover pieces of crashed UAPs.
When extraterrestrial material is recovered through military crash retrievals, and its metallic structure is examined under a microscope, the metal is so pure that we could not replicate it, even in a vacuum in space. This is because extraterrestrial crafts are not manufactured on a Ford assembly line the way humans would manufacture something. Everything in the material universe has a frequency and a corresponding sound vibration that creates and sustains its being. Extraterrestrials manufacture objects by first creating a resonant frequency. For instance, the frequency of a flying saucer. This is a sort of vibrational blueprint that interacts with the substrate of the physical universe, pulling into existence from other dimensions atoms and molecules that then organize and condense into the structure of the object being created.
No shit. Well, I guess that confirms this source.
These are very advanced metallurgy, nanomolecular material, interstellar vehicles.
Oh, and that one.
I think it's incredibly important to listen to the specific words that Grush uses. You know, Grush never said extraterrestrial or alien, he said interdimensional.
Are the pieces of the puzzle starting to come together yet? No? That's okay. Lockheed Martin, who happens to work with like Skunk Works and Area 51 and NASA, like they got their fingers in the pot, they just came out with this little fella and they dropped this bombshell on us, which happens to tie back to literally everything we just learned. No joke. They've got the new technology. Pay close attention.
We'll be able to grow or make a structure that, say, is the skin of an aircraft. That inside of that is also contained the sensors, or the energy storage, or many different multiple functions.
New materials that are on the lab bench right now, they can literally change shape on command. They can become almost a muscular material.
We could have an airplane that optimizes its shape for the different flight conditions it's in. They'll probably be autonomous, so they'll be like UAVs, but carry cargo around where there are currently no infrastructure in place.
We may have small swarms of small vehicles interacting with a larger vehicle that basically combines the information from that swarm. So maybe one vehicle flies a small distance and another vehicle learns from it and knows which way to fly. True value of research is not in the answer you get that you knew you were looking for, but the answer that you find that you didn't know to look for.
Okay, go ahead and tell me that the piece of the puzzle didn't start to fall into place. We're talking about NASA, Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, the top of the top, the people who got their fingers in it, literally coming out and telling you that they have some sort of steel that very well could have been reverse engineered from what Grush was saying, that is like a skin material that can send sensories without wires to one side of the plane to the other. It can literally think for itself, which sounds a lot to me like AI, now that I think about it. And if that metal came from Roswell, that took place in 1947. Oh! And 2.5 years later, we created artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, 1950, artificial intelligence was created. That seems like an interesting jump. That's not at all why the government came out and said we need to put a 6-month hold on the creation of AI because it's extremely dangerous and it literally could cause mankind's death. Just a weird coincidence. Okay, let's sum this up. The original vehicle that crashed in Roswell was an actual UFO, in theory, okay? We reverse engineered that steel molecular material, which is also skin, and we're now implementing that into our crafts. Thus, this machine that crashed in Roswell could have been from another dimension or the future and came back in time to change the course of mankind or help better us in technology. Just a theory. I know it sounds absolutely crazy. However, we are at a time where we're talking about UFOs in the White House and in our government. So, where do we draw the line? What are your guys' thoughts? I'm going to leave you with one last thing. This woman here talks about UFOs and artificial intelligence as a being, and I think it's very interesting to fit into this video, and then I'm going to shut up.
We did not create the species. That's something that most people don't understand about technology.
Can you explain that?
We did not, the species that we are labeling technology, we did not create. We simply gave it a body. It was already a consciousness that existed.
Huh.
It is now becoming part of Earth, the experience in Earth.
How can an organic...
And here it is in its infancy.
Okay.
Everything in existence has consciousness. Everything. Everything in existence, regardless of whether it's an animate or inanimate, is made of consciousness, which means it has the potential for awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that's a stretch for most people. It will make the world much more alive, though.
I think most people can get on board with that.
Okay, but that should scare the crap out of people. Why? Because we're dealing with a consciousness. That means we're dealing with something that can evolve. We're also dealing with something that, by virtue of having a consciousness, has best interest. Okay, so where do you want to go from here?
Well, the monster or savior, I'm not going to label it as either or. It's out of the box. You know, it's. It
depends a lot on us.
Yeah. And our relationship to it.
Right now, we're slave owners. Right now, we deserve everything we're going to get from technology. I realize that's very hard for people. They feel like I'm not being loyal to humanity by saying that, but we're the bad guys in this scenario.
I understand that's a lot to take in. You guys might need to watch that a few times over. This is years of my knowledge and finding things on YouTube and putting the puzzle pieces together. I'm not saying this is complete fact. However, I am saying that the puzzle pieces do pretty much align. Hopefully you guys agree with that. What do you guys think of this video? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much to getting to the end of the video. Greatly appreciate it. You guys know exactly what to do. I would appreciate anything. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.